Okay, everybody. Well, how about we get started since it's 4:02.
Okay.
It's nice and bright in Esther's apartment. Okay, so let's get started. I think Ray had to step aside, so I just want to take note of everybody who's here. Thank you all for joining us. Today is October 14th. This is the Council on Aging Board meeting. I am Anne Marie Gagnon, the Director of the Senior Center, and I thank all of you for joining us. And for anybody at home viewing, thank you for joining us too, to get a little more insight about what we're doing here at the Senior Center and what our plans are for the next month. So let's see. So with that, let's do a brief roll call. Carol Arasian.
I'm here.
Roxy Palladian. Okay. Arlene Smith. Esther Keeney. Mary Keenan. I see her, so I think she is listening to us. Janet McCullough.
Here.
Great. Okay. And with us on staff, we have Marina Kirsanova, our program coordinator, Margie Wayne, our program services assistant, Ray Gracia, our principal account clerk, and myself. Okay, great. So thanks all everybody for coming. I did email out the minutes to everybody. I hope you received them. We also sent them via the regular mail. If everybody could take a moment and take a look, and if you have any comments.
This is just for Ray. The meeting started at 4:02.
I don't think Ray's there.
This meeting today? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Oh, there's Tom Lewis is joining us. Okay. Any comments about the minutes?
I just have two comments that have to do with the fact that when I called in with the questions, we were able to offer, I don't know if it's going to go or not, an in-person activity because it was outside. And I think that was a positive thing to at least be able to offer that for anyone who would be willing to meet others, not only on a Zoom call. So maybe sometime we could put in also that come the warmer weather, we'll try, if this COVID continues, that we will try to offer some outdoor meetings when the weather gets nice. And I think that the food, the food market that we have, I'm pretty sure there was something about an outdoor walking. Do you remember that? She had sent it out via email. Did you get it? There's an outdoor walking thing Watertown is part of.
Oh, there's a walk with a doc program.
Yes,
that the health
yes,
department
yes,
is doing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's, nice for people who feel confident enough to go out and meet others in a nice atmosphere other than just strictly on the computer. And also, I had sent a letter to the director of the food pantry saying that I certainly would be willing to help the senior center if there was somebody else that was interested in running some kind of offering of toiletries for the food pantry during the holidays, since I think that is expensive stuff that people, just don't have the money for, toothpaste and shampoo and things like that. So I don't know if that is of interest to anybody, but I'll put it out there.
All right. Thank you, Arlene. We'll follow back with the food pantry coordinator.
Just a point of information. there is another on-site thing done at the cemetery at the corner of Mount Auburn and Common, done by the historical, he's gonna dress up as a
Yeah, that's what I meant.
oh,
'Cause I got in touch with Audrey Childs.
ah,
That's her husband. Well,
her husband is doing it.
husband. And so that's what, when I was mentioning getting together, in person, that was what I had been talking about, because
Oh,
we
okay.
had that with the kids, with the families going with him. And it certainly is very enjoyable. And also being in the cemetery, it's kind of Halloween-like. So again, when the weather gets nicer, well, hopefully we'll be able to offer more outdoor things that might get people together, or let people know about that walk with a dog.
I think that's great. I'm going to have Marina address that walk in the cemetery in 1 second. Can we just have a motion about the minutes real quick?
I move that the minutes be accepted. They seem perfect. Yay, Ray.
I say,
Perfect. What do you mean perfect? They're minutes. You know.
Great. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. So then moving forward, yes, Marina, if you could address the outdoor activity piece that Arlene brought up.
yeah, we, when are we doing that, Margie? We're doing that tomorrow.
Thursday,
Which is tomorrow, right? 15th.
that's correct.
It's great that we have Margie, who is a member of Historical Society. And it was in major her idea while we were thinking what outdoor activity we can suggest. Margie came with solutions. She said, why don't we have this walk at the cemetery in front of the high school? And the decision was made. And how many people do we have right now, Ray?
I think last I heard was 10.
Yep, we have 10 people who subscribed, and that's happening.
What time is that, Margie?
It's at 1:30 tomorrow.
Thank you.
So that's happening. We are not sure about November. November is usually not the warmest month of the year, so we decided not to do that. But,
No.
but at least we're constantly thinking about that. We want to offer something which would allow those people who feel comfortable socializing with masks, something to do. And Margie was great offering that opportunity.
I can invite you to my backyard. I have benches there. You can come, a beautiful air, trees and everything. You can sit on the benches. If you want to be personal, we can see each other and chit chat. For me, walking, it's not a good thing because I have problems with my legs, and walking more than, a few steps, it's painful. I can't.
Yeah, that would be an interesting idea. I like that thought about having a space to converse. So maybe we can see what we can do. Janet, were you going to say something?
Yes, I'm going to move away. My dog is barking. If I'm not signed up, but would it be possible just to show up? I agree, my knee isn't too good, but just to communicate and get out with other people, I think I would be interested, and that does fit in with my school duties. I won't be on my corner, so I could possibly participate.
Do you mean tomorrow for the actual walk at the cemetery?
Yes.
Okay, Marina or Margie, your thoughts? We did limit it to 10 just based on social distancing.
Okay, that's okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, we'd like to do it again. We did get more interest than 10, so perhaps if he has more time, we could schedule a second session.
That would be fine.
Okay.
Let me check the weather for November. Somehow
He's not going to be here, so he can't do it. He's leaving to go out of town for a few months. That's why
that's
we
no good. Do we have
had to do it.
anybody else, Margie?
I don't know if there's anybody else from the Historical Society that will dress up like Bob will dress up and has the knowledge. So, you know,
Okay.
I'll see at the next meeting whether there's something else that we can do instead.
Okay.
With
That's
regard to
great.
that outdoors, did I cut somebody off?
No, go ahead, Tom.
With regard to that outdoors sit and talk sort of thing, I noticed that some of the Watertown parks have picnic tables, nice ones. I know I go to Filipello Park on the east side, and they've got some really nice ones with nice seats and stuff. And you could keep your distance and have a nice conversation. 3 or 4 people.
Yep.
You're right. I go to that park quite often. You're absolutely right. They've got wonderful facilities there, and it's a good meeting place if that can be arranged at all.
Beautiful park, yeah. Lots of
Oh,
nice
it
tables.
is.
There's even
Oh,
some, there's some
ahead.
protection in one area. There's a canopy.
Yeah, they've done a wonderful job there.
Just to go back to the Historical Society, Audrey, again, Bob's ex-wife, she dresses up also, and she does demonstrations of watercolors back in the day, but she's not very good at walking. And when I spoke with her about doing this, she said she didn't think that any other members of the Historical Society would feel comfortable doing, talking and having a group. But maybe she, and again, not necessarily right now, would be interested in doing an outdoor demonstration of the painting. I know she did it for Belmont Senior Center. And also my daughter bought some kind of an outdoor heater, which I'm supposed to be receiving for the patio, because that's how I keep in touch with my grandchildren. So if in November you want to have a small, sign up group to come to my patio with the heater for tea, that would be fine.
That's a nice thought. Thank you. Good. Well, I think there's a lot of good opportunity to see what we can do, and the interest that we received in the last few sort of the last outdoor activity that's just going to happen tomorrow, and some of the other things that Marina's been planning is helping to inform us about what we want to do for the spring. So I think these are all good things moving forward. I think that's really, really well worth sharing. So thank you. To that end, yes, Janet?
I think any opportunity for people to be together is beneficial, because I've made good use of my time with being with other people. I've been taking a couple of them to doctor appointments, and to be honest with you, there has been a noticeable physical and mental deterioration in some of these people. They just need to be together and just to talk, and anything one-on-one, of course, with all kinds of precautions, is welcome to them. They keep asking me, is there going to be any activities at the center, and can I go in? And I just say, no, it's blocked. And at the same time, Newton, I belong to the American Legion, and they had a couple of outdoor concerts with people bringing their own chairs and things. And also the French Club in Waltham has had dances as such with a DJ outside, and they say, well, why can't you do something, here? But there has been a noticeable deterioration in some of the people, and the sooner we can get one-on-one with all the proper precautions, I think it's very, very beneficial to people. And I've even a couple of weeks back on the job with taking these special needs kids across the street, there is such a difference. There's smiles and where there was just sort of a reluctance. So any opportunities or anything to get people together with all of the precautions in place, I think would be welcome. any suggestions or anything that can be done.
Do you have access to Zoom conversations?
I have one here. I have a laptop here. To be honest, I have some problems with it. I'm not a technical person, and it hasn't been totally successful. However, I keep trying, and I can't. There has been other things that have come up where I haven't been able to be involved in all these things. But as I said, I take a couple of people to the doctor appointments, gone out to eat with people, and just that one-on-one makes such a difference.
I
Such a
appreciate
difference.
that. I feel much the same way because I live by myself, and because of the virus, I don't circulate a lot. And so I've really gotten a lot of benefit from half a dozen of the things that go on in the senior center in terms of Zoom accessibility. And I don't know if you know, do you know much about the activities at this? Do you get the newsletter?
Oh, I do. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I do.
So you see a lot of those things are available, and probably some people at the senior center would give you some assistance in making a connection if you were up to that. It's everybody, every one of us has a hard learning curve on that, and we figure it out, and then we wonder why we couldn't figure it out before because it was so simple.
Yes, but I'm speaking of the contacts that I have on the outside with people that have gone to the senior center and doesn't have access to all of these technical, and that it's just noticeable.
Yeah.
It's quite noticeable.
You might try a phone chain, just half a dozen of you phone each other in the morning and check in and that kind of stuff. My mother used to do that and got a lot of benefit from it. And that's readily available technology.
Oh, yes. Yeah. As I said, we do keep in touch. And I make a lot of phone calls, and they call me. But, there is a noticeable change. And as I said, not everybody has. Yeah, I know. Yes, it is. They said, well, why can't we just have a table and be 6 feet apart and just, be able to talk? But, that I said, it can't happen, and it's not going to happen for a while. So, but I hate to see these people sort of withdraw within themselves because they don't have, they're in their homes. And not all of them are afraid of the virus. As a matter of fact, I had, there was a trip to New Hampshire that one of the Atlantic was going to put on. And when it came time, 7 people canceled out, not because they didn't want to go. They were anxious to go, and every precaution had been taken. But their families told them, I don't think you should go, because if you don't, you're going to have to, when you come back, you're going to have to stay away. And then, of course, you're not going to be able to see the grandchildren. And so 7 people canceled because of what their families have told them. And so they're back in the house.
I think maybe go ahead, Emery.
No, go ahead, Tom. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think the senior center has some kind of a call-in connection group function. I'm not sure how that really works, though. Somebody else more knowledgeable than me could handle that.
Yeah, so I think, Janet, we can talk offline about this too. But I do agree it is a huge issue, especially almost 8 months now or so into COVID. We are looking at what we're trying to do. We can put some of those ideas into the newsletter as helpful tips for people who, want to change up their scene and what we have to offer in addition to the regular Zoom programming, which is, I agree, can be difficult for people. So, I think for sharing all of that, it is important, and something that not only we in Watertown, but the other area senior centers are all looking at, because we're all facing the same thing. Yes,
yeah. It is definitely a problem, and I don't like to see what is happening to these people. I mean, as I say, we keep in touch. We go out to eat. we're phoning, and I've taken them to, the doctor, doing what I can just to keep in touch. But there's definitely a difference, and if something can be, come out of this, good. But we're looking at quite a while from now. So it's, we'll just have to do what we can.
Well, I agree with Janet, because that one-on-one connection certainly can brighten somebody's day. We're getting, especially now since it's going to be getting darker earlier, it's going to wreak havoc on all people, no matter what their age. Now, I did notice that the Gillette Center is having a drive-through light festival. And I was wondering if we could contact them and see if there's any chance on getting some free tickets or reduced tickets for seniors, as those people who are able to drive might enjoy a trip going through the lights of for the holiday. It's going to start next month. And I was wondering if there are any other light programs that one could drive through. La Salette, I believe it's La Salette, used to be one that had a lot of lights, and people used to drive up there. So
yes, they do.
That's
wonderful celebration there. Yes.
Arlene, if you could help us figure out what that cost is and get back to us, that would be great. And we can put
it's
that in the newsletter.
$25. Well, early tickets are $25 a car. So, but certainly I wouldn't mind giving a call and see if there's any discount we could get as a senior center.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Well, with that, if we could move to the next agenda item, which is actually to talk about the survey we recently did for the programs that are at the senior center. Margie helped to compile those answers. Margie, can tell us a little bit about what we did.
Sure. Okay, so we sent out about 120 surveys, and that was to people who were on Zoom from pretty much day one to the current. And so of the 120 surveys we sent out, we've received 35 back as of last Friday, and I compiled the information. So, and I think Amory sent it out, so I'm not going to read everything, but I'm just going to highlight a few things. So it looks like of the people that return their surveys, most of them are taking a Zoom session between 1 and 4 a week. We asked the question, do the program and the content meet expectations? And out of the 35, we have 32 saying yes. So I think we're doing the right thing. Some of the comments, instructors are great. It's keeping me healthier, and these exercise classes are giving me mobility. This is great because it's helping me stay healthy and active. It's putting a lift in my step. And one great thing, a lot of enthusiasm by the teachers on these groups. And one of the comments was, Thursday Pilates rocks. So we've had some really good feedback. The next question we asked about is the amount of the time in the day, the time of day, does that meet expectations? And the majority of the people said yes. The biggest thing was, a couple of comments was to try to stay away from lunch. We had 3 people say lunchtime around 12 o'clock or 12:30 are not good times, but mornings are good, and maybe a little bit later in the afternoon. So that was kind of good information to have. We're trying to look out at not just Zoom, but Facebook. So the majority of our people, we asked, if you use Facebook, would you use, I guess, the live feature, which I don't use Facebook, so I'm not familiar with it. But 23 people said no. There are a lot of comments that they don't use Facebook, do not want to use Facebook. And a lot of it could be a learning experience, but a couple of people were afraid of having their data or information out there, and that was an issue for them not to be on social media. Question, would you watch senior center programs in Watertown Cable? Well, we do have a few, people that are not in Watertown, so that would, would have to be a no. But there are over 11 people that said, yeah, if we did more on cable, that may be something that they'd like to do. The preferred method of learning about our programs, the two most common ones are our monthly newsletters and the notify me emails. In general comments, the senior center is most helpful to the generation of elders, professional, polite, caring staff. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for soliciting my opinions. Thank you for coming up with all these programs and liberating us from loneliness. Marina does a great job. Thanks for a good job you do and becoming welcoming. Just a lot of positive comments about the senior center, which is wonderful. And the last thing is we had a list of topics that some of the programs that people might want more interest in. And the high one was exercise. And there are other things that we can look into, but that kind of took the top rating is maybe more or different types of exercise programs. And so that's kind of the summary of the survey.
That's great. Thank you, Margie. I appreciate
Sure.
that. Does anybody have any comments or thoughts on what we put out? I know there's a few more on Margie's desk, so they do keep coming back.
Okay.
So it's nice to see all the feedback.
The only comment
It
that I
was
would,
a very good,
go ahead, please.
I'm sorry, Tom.
yeah,
go
it was
ahead.
a very good idea, having a survey. Sorry.
A very good survey. Thank you, Roxy.
What I would kind of add to that is most of the responses seem to be in sync with the courses that are offered. So in other words, like exercise, is a big one. There are a lot of exercisey kind of physical things, which I think are great. And I'm wondering if people aren't positively responding to the things that they know versus, because you had all these other ones, this beautiful list at the bottom there. And I would like to say, I think just because people in the survey didn't say, hey, I want to take a course on karaoke or cooking, that means that you shouldn't think about doing something like that, because I think getting out of our circle would be great. And
Yeah, that's not, maybe I didn't say it correctly, but there are a lot of other topics that people are interested. That was just the one that raised the most. So like wellness programs, fitness, culture, theater, they were also high, but that was the higher one.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yep.
Great.
And regarding cooking, please don't miss our Armenian cuisine cooking class tomorrow at 10 o'clock. If you didn't buy the plums yet, you still have time, because we will be doing the fruit lever thing. Fruit lever. Lever?
Leather. Yep.
Leather?
Yes.
3 days with no English definitely affects.
Still, huh?
But yes, Friday 10 o'clock.
It's great.
It's
And
sort of like living alone when we lose our language skill. It's like, I don't know.
I do lose English, because over the weekend I mostly read in Russian. I don't speak at all. So when I come here and they're like, bleh, bleh, and Mary gives me time to come back.
So I think I appreciate the staff's time on this survey. I think, and for everybody who responded, I think it's been really some good information for us. As you know, we've done surveys in the past. When you've come here to the Senior Center, we've done, quick surveys on our programs and our instructors. We're always trying to keep on tap of what we're offering, and I think this was a good one for what we're doing virtually, and continue to expect this type of thing every few months or so, or maybe specific ones to specific programs, so we can change up the schedule for what people want. One of the pieces on here was supportive services. People do want to hear more. We've done stuff on we had a presentation from Honoring Choices, which about healthcare proxy and personal directives. We're looking to do
Fall prevention.
I'm sorry?
Fall prevention.
Falls prevention. Yep, we had Mount Auburn Hospital for that. So we're definitely looking to do some more of that as well. It's just trying to find the best time in the Zoom schedule You know, it's hard, you know, when you're at the senior center, we have multiple things happening at multiple times because we have multiple spaces. Now we have one space. So we're trying to make sure that we don't have too many multiple things that people have to overly choose from. So trying to balance that schedule. Marina does a really nice job trying to fit all that in. And as we move into the winter, you know, we're trying to see what we can do with the schedule, but still retain the exercise classes at the same times that they are, because people rely on that for their schedule. So I would say stay tuned and you know, keep bringing your feedback to us. It's really appreciated.
I
Tom?
would say maybe just kind of keep in mind the idea of including volunteers in that program to keep people involved, but also keep it off Marina's desk sometime, you know, so she's not sitting there on the switch all the time.
Oh, in terms of running the programs, yes, yes. We've looked into, you know, adding some more of that, you know, to balance that. So yeah, thank you. And thank you to those of you who act as, you know, second moderators or other co-hosts with the class. That really helps with managing our attendance and yes, giving the lead host, Marina, a break, you know, so she can answer the phone for a minute. So thank you. Okay, so moving from that then, because of what we received from our survey, we also wanted to have a conversation today about the donations for programs. I'm sorry Pat Gold isn't with us this afternoon to help with these conversations, but it is timely. As you know, for those folks who come to the Senior Center, there is a donation request for particularly exercise classes. And now we have gone quite a few months with softly suggesting that people continue to send donations in. We do recognize that this has been a big, you know, transition to learning how to use Zoom, managing your time, you know, moving your furniture out of your living room or your space that you can do an exercise program safely. We wanted to give people that opportunity to, you know, get used to how we can do this and how it can be comfortable. And thank you to everybody who has provided donations to us. We appreciate it. We wanted a conversation about what we wanted to do moving forward and the best way to do that. You know, we can continue to just a soft ask in our classes for donations. We could send invoices to folks just saying these are the number of classes that you participated in over a month. This would be your suggested donation. It's always suggested. It's not a mandate. It's just we would like people to contribute back towards the classes like they always have. So I'd like to present that as a discussion topic.
Certainly think something ought to go out in the newsletters. You know, I'm so used to getting things in the mail, and everything in the mail has an envelope in it. And there's a reason
for sure.
You know, and I could see, you know, particularly in combination with, because you keep track of how many people participate, you might just put in a note that says, I see that you participated in a number. Don't worry about whether it's 5 or 17, you know, but a number of programs, and would you be willing to subsidize it to the tune of $3 a session or whatever some figure is, but getting some kind of a target there. I think a lot of people, I certainly would be willing to do that.
So are you saying that doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, Amory participated in 22 classes?
No, that's too much effort, too much work. Because I'm not gonna call you and say, no, I was in 7, not 8.
Okay. Okay.
Just a little note. We see you participate in a number of classes over the last few months. You know, hope you've enjoyed them.
Okay.
You know, we're needing to do this at approximately. I would recommend that somebody does a target figure of X number of dollars per session, if that makes sense.
Okay.
You know, I work better with the target. The politicians all say that. That's the reason they say $100, $200, $500, because people need to think about it, you know. Otherwise, they'll put in, you know, like $1.
Right.
And that's appropriate for some people. I mean, sliding scale, obviously.
Absolutely. Right. And that's the thing too. I mean, we understand, you know, times are different now than they were many months ago. We understand people's, a lot of things have changed for a lot of people, and we want to be very conscious of that and supportive of, you know, what people need. So But people have also asked us if we were going to send something out. People have asked how they can donate. That's why I wanted to have the conversation.
I wouldn't send out something because that's only going to make a lot more work for you folks. I think that maybe if you, I don't know if around the holidays makes sense, a certain month for a drive. And if you could get the newspaper to write an article saying that you provide all of these things, even though the center is closed, and because the center is closed, you still want to bring seniors together. So I think the newspaper would be interested in doing an article, and the fact that you work on a limited budget and you also actually offer these programs due to the generosity of people. And then I think it's the Friends of the Senior Center. They have a certain amount of donation blocks, or not blocks, but some kind of metal things as you come in the door, where your name is mentioned and whoever you donated the money for. So I think you could do that. I also think that you, on the cable news, you could get one of the fellows there, or somebody could go on and talk about the fact that, you know, we have not opened back up because we are a generation that's at risk. But we need to keep up this Zoom programming so that people still have a connection.
Okay.
Actually, how much money do you expect, you know, to pay monthly, let's say, or weekly?
Well, you know, when people would come in here on a regular basis, that people would be giving $3 or $4 at the counter based on the classes. So right now we're running 7 classes a week. On average, there's say 8 people per class, 56 people, or, you know, 56 folks, you know, participating times $3. I mean, it was probably, you know, upwards of, you know, hundreds of dollars a week that we were, that was coming back as our share to the town for what we're doing.
Someone, Anne-Marie, someone has to keep an account how many times the person participates.
And we
sometimes they might
have that.
Ray.
No, we have it. Margie actually keeps the.
Oh, Margie does that?
Well, they all do. Everybody does. So the My Senior Center, when you used to scan in at the door, all that data is still with us, and everybody who comes into a class, that's why we take attendance. That's why, you know, Marina was always asking that people have their names on, or we ask people to become a member of the Senior Center if they haven't, if we don't know who they are, so that they can participate. And so we have attendance for people who have been in our programs. So no different than if you were to walk in the door and take a class in the gym.
Do you have an attendance roll from the various exercise sessions and stuff now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
of
so
course.
you got it. You got the data.
Yep.
You're good to
Yeah,
go.
but sometimes people feel like they're not there physically, so they don't have to pay. So they need to be reminded that.
That works when I go to a movie theater really well.
I'm sorry?
When I go to a movie theater, that works really well. I tell them they're not really there. I shouldn't have to pay for them. That's my sense.
Okay, Tom.
Yes, I think these people that had participated before, you know, they get, you know, they give a donation previous to these programs that you've had, and now they're virtually getting it free. Perhaps a slight nudge. Everyone knows what a budget is, and perhaps a slight nudge. Saying, you know, the money is not, that is not, you know, there is a bottom to the well, and perhaps, you know, we kick in a little bit in phrasing it as diplomatically as possible. Human nature being as it is, if you get something for nothing, it's better than not paying at all. But and there are those that cannot pay, and that is, you know, and that is of course a consideration. But you say you have the attendance, and these people that are attending would probably have donated previously. So even a reduced amount would be beneficial, and worded correctly and diplomatically would say, you know, this is keeping the center. We would like to promote more programs, but you know, the money is not inexhaustible.
Okay. Thank you for that, Janet.
So I think
You know,
if you did like a newspaper article, an article in your newsletter and on cable TV, you would reach not only the members of the senior center, but the people who will soon be members of the senior center.
Right. Well, thanks, Arlene. And I'll talk to the Friends group about that because they'll be doing probably an appeal later this year, and they have that far reach as well. So thank you.
Does the senior center have a development committee or anything like that?
No, because we're a municipal department. So our development arm would be the Friends of the Council on Aging. So when they do their appeal, then those dollars would be, are donated in, well, Mary Keenan's on the line, but I don't know if, Mary, if you want to answer this question. But then those dollars are assumed that will go back to support the senior center in some way, shape, or form. And the Friends have been hugely supportive over the years, particularly with our parties, particularly with that lunch grab and go thing we're doing for the Harvest Week next week, you know, and other things. So what they've collected has really helped to make a difference in what we've done.
Just like you send survey, you can send, you know, a bill for each of us and say, you know, came this time and you have to pay this much.
You owe us.
You
owe
owe-
us.
Okay, well, I appreciate all the comments, and I think what we'll do is we're going to take these back and we'll have a staff meeting about it and see what the best way is. But I do agree. It sounds, I mean, it sounds like you're all in agreement that something of notice is helpful to our community of folks who take particular exercise classes.
I think so, yes.
Okay. Yes. Oh, thanks, Carol. Carol just gave us a thumbs up. Okay. Shuttle bus update then. We're going to segue to that. So our senior shuttle bus has been on the road for the last 4 weeks. And want to thank everybody out in the community who has been riding. Thank our drivers for coming back to provide that service, and to let people know how they can get a ride if they need a ride. And Margie, if you want to tell us a little bit about what's been happening since she's been taking the phone calls.
I think you just kind of pretty much said it all. We sent out 88 letters back in August, September of people who had been riding last July through March when we had to stop. And we informed everybody of what the new restrictions would have to be on the bus. Basically that we could only do so many runs a day, only have 4 riders plus the driver. They had to wear masks. They had to be able to get up and down the bus by themselves and pretty much carry their own bags. So we asked people to let us know if they were able to do those and wanted to go with the bus. So we did get some responses back, and based on that, I did call people to ask them if they wanted to go that first week, which was the week of September 15th. That first week we had 17 people who wanted to ride. The second week we had 8. The third week we had 10. That was through September. And then last week we had 16 and 12 so far. We've asked them to call us on Friday, the week before they want to go, because we have the bus, basically we can put it on the road Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays if we have enough people to go. We really haven't had a full bus for each of those days, so there are some weeks we may just do a Tuesday and Wednesday or a Wednesday and Thursday, and that's why we asked them to call us by Friday so I can make the schedules and get them to the drivers. So I'm just hoping that each week goes by, more and more people will be interested, and we'll just see how it goes. But I'm very happy that we're able to get the bus back out on the road. in this capacity for those who do need it and
Great.
you know, and want to go.
Yeah, thanks, Margie. By way of clarification, the bus does seat 20 people, but due to COVID restrictions, we're only taking 4 passengers plus the driver. So when we say that we have, 17 or 16 people, I mean, we can do up to almost, what's that, 12 or so per day?
It's 3 runs, so 4 run is, 3 different trips a day, up to 3 different trips. So we could basically take 12 on a Tuesday, 12 on a Wednesday, 12 on a Thursday. So you can, as you can tell by the numbers, we haven't had full runs, but.
And what we're looking to do then is, because of that, and because we do have funding to have the bus on the road more than just 3 days, we are looking to expand that and see if people might want to do some holiday shopping. So I believe Margie is sending another survey out.
Another survey went out asking people to think about, and we gave them a couple of different options to see if they would be interested in going there or but it has to be in like very close to Watertown, because we want to be able to take as many people, and because of the 4 per ride, we can't go out to a Framingham. It would take us too long to get out there, and we wouldn't be able to do more than 1 a day. So I haven't that I know of, I haven't got any responses yet for that, but I'm sure in the next few days we'll start hearing back.
Right. Anybody have any questions on that? The people who I think who are riding it have been very thankful that we brought it back, and I think we've got fewer people than we thought might ride, but I think it's because it's been so long that people were able to figure out what they needed to do, particularly for grocery shopping. I expect that as the months go on, we will see an uptick in ridership, but for now, I'm very happy with what we're able to do.
I just wondered, do you use the senior hours of these grocery stores?
No.
And we could, the earliest run goes out when, Margie?
8:15. But there are only a few people that like the 8:15. Most people want to go like at 10:10, so far. So I don't know how many riders, and nobody has asked, and maybe they're not afraid to ask, but nobody's really asked about going early.
Right. But we do have that early slot that would make it that early time for people. It just doesn't seem to be popular.
That's when I go.
Me too.
You need a ride, Carol?
No, not yet. I may, but not yet.
The bus will be running when you need it.
I used the bus to say I used it one time in November last year, and it was delightful.
Good. Tell everybody.
It was just.
I've waved to the bus a few times when it's gone by my corner.
That's great. Good. All right. We'll let all your contacts know that we are available if should they need it. So they can just give us a call on a Friday morning, and we'll make it work. The biggest change is that it just doesn't show up like it used to at the housing complexes and fill capacity. We just can't do that, which is why we've changed this appointment only schedule, and it's been a lot of education around how to do this, for the public, but slowly but surely people are getting the hang of it and have figured it out and how best to, make their arrangements for the ride. So, so far so good. Okay, and thank you to the staff for working on that. Are there any questions or comments from the public? I do know we have a couple of guests, it looks like. There's some folks on here who, any questions from the public before I ask any other member items? Okay, seeing none. Do any members have anything else they'd like to question or share?
I'd like to
My neighbor.
Oh, just a second. We'll take Arlene first. Go ahead, Arlene.
One of the, right now we're kind of concentrating on things that would bring happiness or joy to folks, especially with the winter months coming on. And one of the best things that I went to, it was an intergenerational program, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, was an animal program. Because those baby animals just bring joy and smiles and the feeling of warmth to everyone, seniors, adults, and children all together. So I would like to suggest that sometime we have some kind of an animal program with either the baby animals or there was also a program with a therapy horse or therapy dogs that come out. And I think this would be a nice program. As I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be an intergenerational program. It could be just for seniors, but I think that would just brighten folks' day.
How do you think that would play on Zoom?
No, it's not the same.
No, that's the
Not
hard
too
part.
loud.
Well, see, the
Yeah.
thing is like,
Gotcha.
I mean, you can always try it. I mean, who knows? But that would be something maybe in November that you could still have outdoors. Do you know what I mean? There is no place that is large enough that Watertown folks can use and have a particular time to come. In other words, they don't do that. Do people understand me?
No, are you asking? What are you asking? I'm sorry.
Is there a large, you know, like the Hellenic Center, all right, or actually the gymnasium that's next to the senior center? Is
Oh.
there ever a program
House.
in this COVID time where there's a program indoors, but what you do is you sign up so that there are not too many people inside at one time?
I'm not aware of one at the moment. I mean, the library has some very restricted, you know, allowances on people in their building and whatnot based on size. We're looking at our size and see what would happen, but nothing right now, particularly for the senior population.
Yeah,
Would be
well,
happening.
that's something you might want to think about. But if you wanted to go Zoom, you know what you could do is you could have different people who have pets bring their pet, bring their pet.
That's a good
Bring
idea.
mine.
We could do that.
Yeah, if you just
And
name
bring
it.
the dog, and everybody talk about their pet for a little bit.
I think that's a great idea. We could
Good.
try that, and then when the weather gets warmer, do something outside.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Oh, and then after they had the animals, they had Rancatories donate all the ice cream. And, you're doing the luncheon, which is such a nice idea. So maybe you could do like a Sunday not Sunday the day, but Sundays, hot fudge Sundays.
Sunday.
Sometime as another, yeah, that's right, Tom, as another, interesting and fun thing. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Arlene. I think those
Wait
are
a
good ideas.
second.
You know,
Willow's gonna get,
oh, beautiful. That works.
all right, Willow. Do you want to
That's
bring
good.
joy to people? Sure you do. All right.
One of the instructors had a litter of puppies in her apartment, and she showed them the other day, and that really communicated to me. They're cute puppies, and they.
Oh,
What kind of dogs?
Yeah. So what?
What kind of dogs?
I don't know. It was a kind of a mixed
Cat.
breed.
Yeah,
You guys-
cat
Yeah,
dog.
but see, that just brightens everybody's day. Brighten your day.
They were beautiful because it was really, for some reason, they came out with nice brown and white spots.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'll have Marina see what she can do about having a puppy program or another animal program.
Pet Palooza.
Okay.
Pet Palooza.
Great. Okay. Anybody else have anything to share or any questions? Okay. All right. Well, seeing none, thank you all for joining us this evening. I need a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Great.
Is
Right.
Marina still there?
No,
Is
she had to
Marina-
step off. So we're
Oh,
done for the evening.
Could you ask her to contact me about that program?
Yes, I will.
Okay,
Thanks,
thank
Arlene.
you.
Okay, everybody, thank you. Have a good evening.